Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. And this one is a long time coming, so I apologize to you guys for how long it's taken me to get this thing finished. So back in December 23rd, you guys saw the video of the chassis build of the squish van. And yes, I call it the squish van because squash fan to me sounds absurd. So does squish fan, but it's my way of mocking it. I know what they were doing, Midnight Pumpkin, squash. It's goofy to me. But anyway, I like the box art colors, and overall the box art theme of it is fine. Again, not a fan of the squash van, so I opted to change it up a little bit. I had an idea here, and by the time it processed all the way through, and with some trial and error and some oopsies, it's finally done. Doesn't look quite like I wanted it to, but it is done. So we now have the Hanks truck. I'll get into the name of it in a little bit. So what I've done is we have taken and put in the Monster Beetle type tires on there. I have the gray, same kind of directional wheels as it came with. So the ones it came with were the white directional and the Blackfoot tires. I don't mind the Blackfoot tires. It's just they're really hard and don't have the best grip. These actually have better grip, sharper edges on the chevrons. Plus, it has spikes, so spikes are cool. And I liked with the white wheels, it was just going to be too bright, and I figured just some plain steel wheels on here would look more fitting. So the idea I was going for was an old beat up panel van turned into a monster truck. Kind of the original Gravedigger type idea. Take an old beat up body, jack it up, put it on a new frame and, modern suspension type stuff, and have kind of an old beater. It would have gone better, but when I painted it, I painted the red one first, as you're supposed to, dark to light, usually, and then I came in and painted the white. Well, the first coat of white went on fine. And with the weather as being as crappy as it is, I rushed the second coat and put it on just a little heavy. And I got a big bleed from some red into the white. Evidently, the white melted the red a little bit and it bled in as it kind of ran down. So I had this big red sploochy bit up here on the corner of the roof. Had to cover that up somehow, and didn't feel like stripping the whole corner of the roof off to repaint it, and figured, okay, I'm going to weather it a little bit. I'll just kind of make a rusty spot. Well, that rusty spot turned into kind of just funking up the whole thing. So it is very grungy. So picture this was once sitting in a Louisiana swamp somewhere, and then they drug it out of the swamp and they put it on a brand new chassis. So now you have this truck. So I painted the grill white, and then we rusted and antiqued it. So a lot of these old delivery vans, it would have been a base color white cab, and then the cheaper ones of them would have had white grill, white bumpers. It would have all been paint coated. You wouldn't have had a lot of chrome on a work truck. So I went with more of a delivery work truck theme. Now I was going to put some sort of Hank's Delivery back here, but since I had to kind of crapify it up so bad to cover up the paint imperfections, we just went with super grunge. So I muddled on, it was just sponge, and did some browns and some grays and some rusts and all this stuff, and just kind of goobered it up really bad. It looked horrible. Shot it all over with a coat of the clear, matte clear, or flat clear, I think, up at the TS code down here. But I put the clear over top of it, and then I came back in and airbrushed, some tans and some browns back over it to kind of take it from that almost camouflage looking, muddled look it had on the roof and all around the body. And it kind of blends it in a little bit better, so it looks more like, algae and moss and lichens and stuff growing all over this thing. You'll get some better pictures of it coming up, but there's like a little cracked window back here. I did the windshield wiper marks in the front, but it's still kind of grungy. The side windows look like they were all cruddy, and somebody went up with like a old rag and kind of wiped them down so you could see out of it enough to move it around. Was the idea. Hanks I needed something that would fit on the door. I just wanted to do something plain, something simple, and something that would have fit way back when. So if you had a panel van and you were making deliveries and you were just a small little mom and pop place, you probably didn't have a lot of money to put like elaborate side graphics on. So what you would have done is, I'm considering this, like a fourth owner type truck. If Hank was doing something, this could have been a delivery service, Hank's tow truck company, repair service, something like that. So Hank just went out there with a big brush and used some house paint and painted his name on the side of the truck. So we've got Hank's on the back, Hank's on the front, on the doors and everything. And then I just kind of, splotched over them with some other colors to make it look worn and old. So it is not perfect. It is not quite what I had in mind. So overall, I am not unhappy with it. I think it's cool looking. A little bit over the top with the, splotches and colors, and, it's a little possibly too grungy. But you know what? I don't think anybody else has a Tamiya Hanks delivery truck out there, so it's a one of a kind. So anyway, as far as the chassis goes, we're still riding on the bouncy friction shocks. Haven't done any upgrades to it, other than it is running a torque tune motor in here just to give it a little bit more grunt. So maybe it'll pull a front wheel off the ground. I don't know. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to go out, run it around, have some fun with it, see how it runs, see what it looks like outside. I'll get some good pictures of it before it gets all cruddy and dirty, before it actually gets dirty. This is clean dirty. But I'll get pictures up close so you guys can see a little bit more of the details and, the impressively grunginess of it all. And then we're going to just run it around the yard. I'm not going to take it out on the track. We got rain literally all day yesterday and last night. So the track is going to be just a swampy, muddy mess. While this is a dirty truck, it's not going to go back on the shelf covered in mud. So I don't want to clean. So for right now, we're just going to take it out, run it around the yard. I'll set up a couple little tiny little jumps or something for it to bounce over. Hopefully not destroy it. I don't think so. It's a tough truck. I've seen Phil beat the snot out of his. I've seen a couple other guys run theirs. It seems pretty stable and pretty good. So we're going to take it out, get it for a run. And as always, everybody, you guys be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you on the next one. See you.